to What She Says, a show in which real women talk about real issues. We also have Marino Eccher, who writes our monthly He's Got Mail, You've Got Mail column. And today we're talking about feminism, what modern feminism is, and what it means to call yourself a feminist. I have Tracy Briggs to my left over here. She writes for SheSays, as does Larson over here on my right. So what do you guys think? What is modern day feminism?
This is starting well, isn't it?
It is.
I think what you said is before is do we even need a word for it anymore? Because I think in many ways, if you look at a younger generation, I don't think they necessarily even have to define feminism. I think they just see the world as women can make choices, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you go to work. And I don't think in many ways, I don't think we need to put a word on things anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of women see that word as bad. Feminists, they see the bra burning, Birkenstock wearing, marching women, and they don't want to associate with that, right or wrong. But I think in many ways, many of us today are feminists because we believe women can make choices about their lives.
Right. Well, and I do think we still need the word feminism just to keep that movement going forward. But I don't understand women who, I think there was a study done where it's like over half of American women won't classify themselves as a feminist, and I really think if you are a woman, you believe that you should have rights to make decisions for yourself, that you are a feminist. But I think it's kind of gotten muddled on what it truly means. But you're right, in the 21st century we don't face the same issues that are feminist foremothers. Is that what we would call them?
I think the problem lies with what the definition of feminism is, because if you were to ask a woman, are you a feminist? No. Okay, but do you believe a woman can have a choice whether to stay at home and be a mom or go to the workplace? Yeah, I believe that. And do you think women should get equal pay for equal work? Yeah, I believe that. So I think in essence to what feminism is, they are feminists, but they're scared of that word.
Right.
Because it's gotten a bad rap.
Exactly. What about you, Marino? What do you think about feminists?
Well, the broad-based definition of feminism that I subscribe to and that I think is pretty common in modern circles is it's really not just about women. Feminism is the idea that all people should be able to self-determine without restriction or judgment, and just be able to be who they are and who they would like to be. And then when you couch it in those terms, I can't think of anyone who would say that that's a bad thing. To answer the question, do we still need the term? Yes, because I think the issues of self-determination and of being able to be who you are without restriction or without kind of artificial constraint are still very real issues. They're not the same issues that they were 50 years ago or 100 years ago, but they exist, and I think it's still a meaningful and worthwhile movement. As to why people would hesitate to describe themselves as feminists, it's a branding issue. It's a term that has been co-opted by some, and often by opponents of the movement, to associate it with the most extreme or the most fringe or the most shock value practitioners. It would it's no different than saying, do you believe in animal rights, and saying no because you don't like some of the more extreme things that PETA does. And I think if you can put that in the rearview mirror and kind of focus on what it actually means at the core of it, as I said, I can't imagine why you would think that's a negative or something you wouldn't want to be associated with.
So even as a man, do you think men hesitate to call themselves feminists, even though they might largely subscribe to those beliefs?
Yes, and I mean that's for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is the fact that there's a tremendous cultural pressure against anything that hints of emasculation, and men are very, in my view, irrationally afraid of associating themselves with something that has feminine in it, or even the word feminized, something I've written about before, has taken on this kind of nasty connotation. But I don't think that has a lot to do with the values of feminism. I think that has more to do with an underlying, it's a cultural defect in my view.
How How about you, Anna, as a 20-something in today's society and a working woman, what do you define feminism as?
I think people my age might shy away from the definition, defining themselves as a feminist, because at least people I know sort of have this idea that if you're a feminist, well, you can't like fashion, and you probably shouldn't be doing all these really girly things and reading fashion magazines. I had a friend who chastised me because I like fashion magazines. She said, well, it's not very forward thinking of you. Those women in those magazines are, they don't represent real women. How could you do that,
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
that
I think part of being feminist
can be a turnoff.
A feminist too is being able to make whatever choices
Exactly.
you want. If I want to talk about nail polish instead of politics, that's my choice.
Exactly.
I have it because other women have fought for those rights for us. But
yeah, as I said, I think it's about self-determination
Yeah.
and throwing off systems of oppression, wherever those may be. Because you enjoy a fashion magazine does not mean that you're oppressed by it. And that's a conversation you can have. But and I think you're right. I think it's because the definition can be applied narrowly. Some people shy away from it.
all right. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys, and thanks to Kilburn Group for allowing us to enjoy these last few days of fall on their downtown rooftop. And join us next week for What She Says.